Hey, it's Tori, and welcome back to my channel. Today we welcome Ace from League of Distortion to the channel. How are you doing today?
Really good. How are you, Tori?
I'm doing good, thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to finally get to meet you somewhat face to face and be able to have this chat. Of course, you're here to talk about your brand new album, Galvanize, which is out on October 25th via Napalm Records. This is your second album, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
And you've already had 3 singles out already. How have you found that response from your fan base or from perhaps people who are now just discovering you with this album release?
Yeah, it's super exciting because it's so interesting to see that many new people get to know us. I mean, we haven't been around for years and years. It's only 2 years since the first record came out, and that was our debut. So, but still, I'm always so excited when people say, "What's this band? Why haven't I heard of them before? Go check them out. They're great." This is really really great, and of course, from our fans getting the positive response, or even I do get personal messages about songs that mean a lot to them, that they say that they help me, and that's the reason why I write music, and why our topics are always very personal and very motivating and empowering. And when I get this feedback from our followers, our fans, that's what shows me that's the right thing we're doing.
Yeah, well, that leads me perfectly onto a question I did have because you do have such a powerful, huge, emotive voice. And obviously, do you feel that's important to put your own feelings into what you're then delivering out to the world so that they then can connect with the lyrics and the meanings behind your songs?
Absolutely. And I think people really do feel real honesty, or they feel if an artist gives it all. I think there's just some vibe you can't measure, but it just gets out there. And for me, since the beginning, actually, and for this record even more, now that we kind of know what we're doing a little bit. um, when we're in the studio, I sometimes don't even really think about what I'm doing. I just like step back and let the situation, let my voice, let the lyrics take over, and then we have many tries I can go for. Some are totally over the top, and some, and then I just give it all, and then we fix that, or we work with that and use it, and then we try to take the perfect take, or make the perfect version of that song.
Yeah. No, you're so right because for me, I need that emotion. I need that connection. Because, like you say, if a vocalist or even in the instruments, if somebody's not feeling that instrument and that instrument doesn't become part of themselves, that listener then picks up on that and then it just kind of falls flat. But whereas with League of Distortion, with your vocals, even with the rest of the band, I feel like that emotion is completely 100% there. And it's important, especially with the lyrical subject that you guys choose to sing about. And that leads me on to my next question. Could you just tell us in your own words what this album is about and what it represents for you?
It's always so hard to like put a huge emotion with so many facets into a statement or something. But most important for me is still empowerment, is energy, and is making people strong, is showing that there's more, you can do more, or even if something else pushes you down, stand up again, get up, you're not alone, and you can do it. You can break free from chains that were put on you, or that you put on yourself, or that were put on you through a specific situation. when I like think of Suck My Blood or The Crown. And you you are strong. Empowerment is still like the top theme, but in a aggressive and in an edgy way, and being backed up by the music, by the metal lowness, by the energy. I think that's how I would um, explain it.
Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely perfect way to go about describing it, because I do feel that empowerment after listening to your band, and especially your voice. Like I said, it's so big and it's so powerful, yet it's still emotive and it still packs that punch where you need it. And how would you personally describe like the musical landscape of your band?
We're definitely metal, and I would also describe us as modern metal, but we have the openness to other styles. We have the openness or even the audacity to mash up styles that are so not metal, but we put them into our universe and into our musical universe and our sound. That this is kind of what we stand for. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different kinds of music from all over the world. You may as well take that inspiration from whatever you can, and inject that into your own style while still somewhat remaining under that metal genre, if you will. It just makes sense, you know. I don't see why people tend to just box themselves into something, and when there's so much musical joy out there in the world that you can just pull in, and if that's something you enjoy, and that's part of who you are as a person, put that into your music.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, some people, for them it's good to have this straight line, and they need that, and that's perfectly fine too. But I don't like straight lines. I
No.
don't like rules and boxes, and that's why it's we didn't think about that like in the beginning. We just did what we thought was good. We have our new metal influences. I listened to R&B and hip hop when I was a teenager, so it's like it's in my DNA somewhere. So so that's why it feels natural, and it's just lovely to be able to, no one telling you can't do that. We do it and people like it, and that's just absolutely amazing.
Exactly, exactly. And like you say, it's very organic. Nothing feels forced. It's just what comes to you and the band naturally. And that leads me on to my next question of how, like, what does the creative process look like for you and for the band?
Yeah, so this creative process was totally different from the first one, because the first one we actually wrote during COVID and during the lockdowns, and we bounced ideas back and forth, but we really had the time. There was nothing else really going on, and now we've been on tour so much, which is amazing. Played festivals, but at some point I was like, when am I going to find time to sit down and really focus on the creative ideas? There was so much in my head already, and we talk about ideas and also bounce ideas back and forth, but really finding the time to sit down for yourself and also with our producers, that was a little bit tough. But once we had these dates marked down, we were able to focus. And then luckily, if I find time to focus, then I can be totally in that world, and then I can give it all, and then I can go to the festival again the next week, for example.
It's yeah, I it's got to be hard, especially when you are touring, and then finding that time just to, especially if you need quiet time to really think and to really concentrate. And because I know I get distracted by so many different things, and I can't imagine how crazy it gets for you. Not only are you in League of Distortion, but you're also with Exit Eden, and then all of this touring that comes with that, and just finding that time to sit down and to quietly focus. And where do you draw your inspiration from? Like, is it just something from all over the world, like different things that you see while you're traveling, or is it something that you really have to sit down and think about?
I'm lucky that inspiration really gets to me, that I can really, it finds me. I get inspiration a lot just by talking to people, talking to friends about problems or things that's going on in their or my life. And also, honestly, just watching the news and
Mm-hmm.
seeing what's going on in the world. Sometimes I just find a line or a melody or a topic where I'm like, okay, I want to write about this with League of Distortion. And then I have this huge list of songs or lyrics or titles or just random words that I thought at that point would make sense to me sometime. And then that's the harder part, is to find the time to really dig into that and to decide on which topic or line should be what I focus on.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. For your listeners, what do you hope that they would take away from listening to the album from beginning to end?
Sorry, there was something going on. Would you repeat it, please?
Yeah, what do you hope your listeners will take away from listening to the full album from beginning to end?
Uh, yeah, I just wish so much strength. I wish to for them to get strength. I also um, put the tracks in a certain order that it kind of builds up from the vibe, from the heaviness, or also having a beer track and then a little bit of a more uplifting track, and to a very empowering song like The Crown is something that was very important to me. That if I don't know who really still does that, I'm sure there are still people out there who really listen through a whole album in the order the songs are put on the record. And I hope that people will feel the energy throughout the tracks and get this absolute strength till the end, with the last track saying, okay, I am the way I am, feeling I am the way I am, but I'm strong. I can overcome problems, and I just want to be go out there and do my thing now.
Yeah. No, I am still one of those people that likes to listen to the album from the first song all the
Nice.
way to the end, because the artist has specifically put it in that order, and it just makes sense to go in with those fresh ears and just to listen to the storyline, if you will, even if it's not something that was necessarily put out that way, but the artist made that choice. You've made that choice to put them in this specific order, and I feel like it makes sense to listen to that and to see why.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear the whole thing, because I, I, your band is one that I have discovered on my channel, and I've just fallen in love with your voice, with, like you say, that empowerment. I feel that, and we need that. Sometimes we wake up and we just like having a shitty day, and it's like I need to throw on something that's going to make me feel better, and I can totally feel that with your music and your band, and I can't wait to listen to the whole thing all the way through. What do you think is like the most rewarding part of being in a band, but also what is like the most challenging thing for you?
Um, I'm going to start with the most challenging thing because there is, luckily, of course, there is many rewarding things, and I'm very thankful for that. But to be honest, the most challenging at the moment is that we have to do so much organizing, and besides what an artist actually does, all the social media also,
Yeah.
and all these things that are, I don't have to tell you.
You're
I
right.
mean, we need to do to get out there to be successful. They're just tools we need to use as band. But sometimes we talk so much about organizing and logistic and postings that I'm like, when do we find time for music? And funny enough, that is one of the rewarding things. When we get together, everything is done. We walk on stage and we can just be musicians for these 30, 50, or however many minutes the show is. And that's always like, we feel that on stage. We feel the energy. We give it to the crowd. We get it back from the crowd because we feel that they feel the empowerment. And that's one of the most lovely things. Also, I love to be at the merch after a show and talk to our fans, just see the people I sometimes connect with over social media, just have a quick chat, and to know for who I'm actually doing this. That's something I really gives so much to me. And also with the music videos we get to do, that's something also that I've noticed. This is so much fun to be an actor in my own play and to underline the lyrics and the topics that are so important to me, with pictures, with over the top pictures, with great people, makeup artists, music video producers. Those are the things that I'm like, okay, and that is why I'm going through the hard times with a band, and that just is so wonderful.
Yeah. This world today, you definitely have to also, not only are you a musician, you also have to be some kind of content creator. And I find that hard for myself with my channel. I can't imagine how hard it is for you as a band to put focus into that as well. It's somewhat draining at times, and it's just got to be hard. And that leads me on to my next question is like, how do you take care of your own mental health when it comes to like touring or even just posting on social media? Because sometimes, the inpouring of comments and all of that from different types of people can sometimes get very overwhelming.
Yes, absolutely. Touring is, to be honest, the place I feel so at home. Although it's not my home, but
Yeah.
I love to be at home too, but there's like just always a certain time period or time frame that I'm like, I need to be on the road again. And then once I am on tour, that's where I can focus on each day's show, on getting the feedback of the fans, because that's what I said, really something that means that it comes, it reaches me. And social media, for example, is still a little bit abstract for me. It doesn't come too close when people write terrible things, but it doesn't really come, just a comment doesn't really come close to me either. So it's more the personal messages, where I'm like not good at answering, but sometimes I do, and then I get the appreciation back from my fans or followers, which I also love. Now I'm getting carried away. I don't even know where I was going.
No, I'm the same. I think like I try and tend to just post like, especially if I've got a reaction coming out or something, I just leave it to excuse me, one post a day, and then I try and like leave my phone, or like I don't religiously check comments because you can get too drawn into that, and then that somewhat
Exactly.
becomes too toxic. And there's the outside world that you still need to enjoy, and like you say, being on the road, being up on that stage, and of course with that comes being able to see physically the faces of these people that your music has affected, and then you also then get to see them singing your lyrics back at you. That's got to be one of the best feelings in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, really, also the feedback, because I put so much thought in my lyrics, and
Yeah.
I'm always like, I want it to be strong and have meaning. And when just someone just writes me a quick message, this song helped me through this, or this song gives me so much energy at the moment and I really need it, then I'm like, yes, I'm happy. I'm just happy about that fact.
Yeah. It's got to be a boost in your confidence as well because, we all have days where we're lacking in our own self-confidence and sometimes a little message will come along and they don't realize how much that then means to you. That just makes your whole day and it makes you want to then continue doing what you're doing and putting your art into the world and it's this is why I love music. It brings so many people together and so many different people from so many different walks of life as well that you probably wouldn't necessarily think that they would enjoy it, but they do, and it's like a big massive warm hug or a warm blanket, you know?
Absolutely. And that's also what I love specifically about the metal world and the metal scene and community. I have the feeling people are more open minded.
Yeah.
And also, people just go to concerts because they love the music,
Yeah.
and then they get to know other people. For example, there was a fan club created for League of Distortion even before we were actually really out there. So, and now we're working close together with them, and they're just um, on their own. They're deciding we're going to this concert. We're a group of people figuring out which they need a hotel or Airbnb, and having this community around a band, getting to know new people through us, through our music, new friends, people who have the same things in common. That is so wonderful for me, knowing that we, with our band and our music, have created this. And it's a goal to create an even greater and bigger community for people who are open-minded and who are loving music. And that's something I like, a goal for my future, or for our future, with League of Distortion, to create this community which is bigger, and maybe at some point we can even support, good causes or something, and support even bigger things than just small. I mean, small individuals are also great to empower, but maybe even have even more impact on the world.
Yeah. I have noticed that, especially in the metal scene, even newer bands like yourself, you get this really passionate fan base, and then they just form, like you say, this family that surrounds you, and then they're all plotting to come to have a meetup at this concert and this venue, and it's so wonderful to see because you mentioned the news earlier, and I feel like the only thing we get on the news today is just bad news, bad news, bad news, and whereas the positive side of social media and of that side of things is you get to see true human nature. You get to see people coming together, people joining because they love a specific band or a specific thing, and it's so wonderful to see. And then you being central in that's also got to give you that boost of serotonin, that dopamine hit, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you mentioned festival season earlier. How was that for you guys?
So cool. It's just always like, yeah, always when we get together and also get to reach a new fan base. It's very exciting to go on stage, and to, like, sometimes we already have like our first rows with the League of Distortion shirts, and okay,
Yeah.
but it's also amazing to see through the reactions. You're like, they don't know us, they don't know what's about to happen. They sometimes they don't even know during the concert, like, what's happening, what's going on at the moment. And that's also a fun reaction we get. um And then of course just reaching more people, having like signing sessions or talks after the show. And festivals, I mean, I can never have enough festivals. It can always be more if you ask me.
See, I'm still yet to experience my first ever one. For some reason, I've never been to a festival, and I lived in England. Download or Bloodstock was right there for the longest time, but for some reason, I don't know, I just never went. And now I'm like, I need to experience at least one in my lifetime. Like, I would absolutely love to go to Varken. Varken would be a dream come true for me just to experience that. The atmosphere just seems absolutely insane there, and seeing all of these videos and things that come from there, and or just any sort of festival where I am right now. They have them in like the heat of the summer, and I'm in North Carolina, and it gets so hot, and because I am British, it's like my body just can't stand it. So it's just like I need to either go home, or like Germany would be fine, or just somewhere in Europe, I think, and just to experience it, because it just seems like, even though there's so many people in their thousands, it just seems like a huge big family coming back together, and like you say, discovering new bands that you may not necessarily know, and then being able to reach more people and to get your music out to more people. And I think a live setting is the perfect way to do that, because studio stuff is fantastic, but there's just nothing like being in a venue or being in a crowd of like-minded people, and just that atmosphere just raises everybody up, and you get to see what your stage presence is like. And I would personally love to see you guys. I hope one day you get to come over and we can meet actually in person, and yeah, I think it would be amazing.
That would be amazing. And it would also be so great if you came to a festival in Germany. Yeah, it's also, the funny thing is we talked about that in the band recently. Um, we didn't, like, we play our shows and then we leave again,
Mm-hmm.
but we're kind of sad about that too, because we play at many great festivals and we could stay another day or night or till the rest, depending on what day you play. So that's something also we should also do more. Find the time to just like, and there's so many opportunities. You can book a hotel, you can have a tent, you can have like, I mean, you can even have, there's even high class festival like shack thingies,
Yeah.
mobile home type,
Yeah.
there's just so many possibilities. um and it's like you said, this vibe, this feeling of spending time together. Music is the reason, but also this family vibe, and just being in a tent or being outside at great weather. And that's definitely something absolutely great to experience.
Yeah, I hope I get to at least once in my lifetime. It's definitely a bucket list thing for me to go in and do. Talking of touring and festivals, what are your rest of year plans?
Well, we have a headline tour planned coming up in November and December. This will only be in Germany, though, but it's something we're really excited about because it's our first headline tour with the second album. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so cool. We also have great support bands. We wanted to have a real, have not only one support band in the whole dates, because we think that many fans will also come to more than one concert. And to me, it was important to maybe even present more bands to our fans, and people we think are good, or maybe even there's even a band they're kind of starting out, but we wanted them to be on board because we know this will help them, and
Hmm.
it's a symbiosis. And I think it's going to be a real great vibe from the crew on this tour, and I'm looking forward to that so much. And I hope maybe we can expand this tour to more European countries in the next year.
Yeah, I can't believe we're already what, in the middle of September. This year has just it's flown by, and it, it, planning for next year already, and like you say, like this, your first ever headline tour. It's got to be so exciting, and I wish I could come and support you guys in Germany. But guys, if you do live over in that area, please go ahead and buy your tickets and go and see League of Distortion, because you will not be disappointed. Ace, I'm not going to keep you much longer. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Do you have any last words for people watching this interview, just of thanks or anything like that?
Yes, well, especially for our fans who have been following us since album number 1. Thank you for being there. And I'm so looking forward to sharing this new record with all of you. And for the people who haven't heard us, go check out everything we got out there on YouTube. We have so many cool music videos to our songs. We have our first debut album, and then this new album, Galvanize, coming out. Be part of the League, be part of our universe. There's so much more to come. And yeah, stay safe and stay strong, and join the League.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely do join the League. Of course, I will leave the pre-order link for Galvanize down below in the description, along with all of League of Distortion's information, so you can follow them, subscribe, all of that. It really does help. If you do go and watch a music video, please comment as well, because it helps with that good old YouTube algorithm that we all loathe, but it needs to be done. Thank you so much, Ace, for chatting with me this evening for you, afternoon for me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. It was for me too. It was great talking to you. I've been watching what you do, so I'm very excited that we got to talk person to person, and I'm really admiring your work and your reaction videos, and keep that going, because you're doing that really, really great.
Thank you. That means so much, especially coming from a musician, just to know that what I'm doing on my end is helping you guys, and just because I feel like it is the new sort of advertisement in a way, just to push and help bands out there. So yeah, thank you again. It's been wonderful.
Absolutely.
Bye,
Hopefully,
guys.
we'll see us in person.
Yes.
We'll see us in person someday.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to become a Taurian. Speaking of becoming a Taurian, all of my social media links and my Discord link are down in the description. We'd absolutely love to have you come hang out in the Discord community, and I will see you guys in the next video. Rock on.